Good morning, everyone. It is a wet, misty, rainy, did I mention wet, foggy, humid morning. I haven't seen fog like this since I began in February and March in Georgia, North Carolina, and Tennessee. It's kind of neat to see it again. I am walking down the trail from the campsite right now, but I am not walking down the trail to the AT. What's happening? I have made an executive decision today. I think this is the first time I've done this, but sorry, I have to see where the trail went. With much turmoil in my heart and in my gut, last night, trying to sleep, and this morning, I've made the decision that I'm actually going to go on an alternate route around Mount Everett. I heard a lot of people yesterday saying, how rocky and steep and dangerous Everett can be. And the fact that everything is just so soaked, the fact that there's going to be rain, all day today, or a chance of rain, so it could hit at any time. It's obviously a lot of moisture in the air. I was slipping all day yesterday, coming down Bear, coming down Race. It just had to do a lot of butt scooting because of it. It's a situation here, but that is obviously something I'm going to deal a lot with in New Hampshire, if not before. The problem is right now is my foot. It's not, the mobility isn't there, maybe 70% mobility. And that takes away some of my confidence as well. Makes me more cautious, I guess, and not necessarily always in a good way. Gingerly, I guess. So I made a decision. It just happened to be when I was looking at the map that the campsite I'm in had a trail going down to a road that I could literally take that road around Everett Mountain, or Mount Everett, however you say it. So I don't like to do that, but I'm going to. And I'm completely at peace. As soon as that decision came in my head, I was at complete peace. So I was having a lot of turmoil. And in my life, I've realized you got to listen to your gut, or at least I do. My gut is pretty much spot on all the time. So if my gut is telling me something is awry, I need to listen to it. So it's not going to obviously take any miles away or anything like that. It's just, a little detour around Everett Mountain because of today and the weather that could be, and the fact that it's soaked and slippery and it's like ice on those rocks. And if you have something slanted and steep, that could be a dangerous thing, especially when you can't get your foot to move the way it's supposed to. It's getting better, but it's not good yet. It's getting better. So I do want to move around that one, and because I'm going to need that foot for a lot tougher climbs, obviously here in a few hundred miles in New Hampshire, and even before then, but especially in New Hampshire. So that's the decision for today. The good thing is on this trail, there is supposed to be a really nice waterfall. So I'm going to get to see that as I'm walking around Mount Everett and then back on the trail. It just leads right back to the trail. So that is the plan for today. Hopefully get some great views, and the weather won't be too much of a bother today, but plan on getting as many miles as I can before the weather gets too bad, and hopefully any severe or thunderstorms will stay away as well. I don't know if you can even tell, but I'm actually limping right now. It's just not working right, but it's first thing in the morning too, so it stiffens up at night. But I would have actually been climbing up Everett first thing this morning, because basically as soon as I got out of the campsite, you start climbing up it. So I am happy with my decision of going around Mount Everett. It's going to be one mountain that's not in the bag, but you know what? There's about 400 mountains I'm putting in the bag on this trip, so one not going in there will not hurt. Because as my fiance would say, you got to take care of yourself on each one, because you know, you got to be able to climb the other mountains in the future. And to put myself in a dangerous situation for one mountain and not be able to finish the trip, yeah, that is not the smartest move here. So I'm gonna move around it and hopefully get some great views for us today and conquer the day as much as we can. Just not gonna conquer Everett. So I know that was a lot of words and lengthy. I have a tendency to go down rabbit holes. I apologize. In a nutshell, what I'm saying is I'm not fearful of climbing Mount Everett. I'm fearful of my foot right now and be able to do it safe. So that's why I'm going around. All right, continuing on, and let's conquer the day. Coming down on this side trail, and right there is Everett. Here a couple minutes ago, it was all socked in with fog. You couldn't even see it. So now you can see it. I went way up on this side trail and then going way down, and there's a lot of rocks and roots here too. So I'm sure it's a lot better than Everett, because that's supposed to be real steep and nothing but rocks. This has been rocks here and there. Nothing scrambly or anything like that, but they're definitely wet, and I've slipped a couple times. I haven't fallen, but definitely slipped, and where that waterfall was, I had to cross that. So those were definitely wet, but not too bad over here. So far so good. Taking my time, as my foot is hurting a little worse today than it was yesterday after feeling better. Now it's feeling bad again. But hopefully it'll loosen up a little bit as the day goes. I am just sweating like crazy, which is weird because it's 65 degrees. It's not even to the warm or the high temperature for today, which is going to be supposed to be like 75. It's supposed to be cooler than yesterday at least, but that humidity, I'm telling you, it's something else. That swampiness. Beautiful area though, for sure. This side trail is not the best marked trail I've ever seen. It goes 2 or 3 different ways sometimes, and one of them is marked and the other one is like faded so you don't see it. You end up going on the other one and it takes you a long way and then kind of brings you back to a trail. But then all of a sudden you'll see a marking, but the trail will disappear, and then you won't see a marking for a while. Like, hold on, am I still on the trail? And then you look at your far out, and you're way off the trail. It doesn't match up with far out, but the good thing is I use 2 different apps when I'm out here. And according to the All Trails app, I am on a trail. So, whew. Glad it's marked and blazed with the blue, but sometimes, especially in the fog, it was really hard to see. It's easier to see now, except some of them are faded, real faded. Like, we could use a paint job. And then other times, it's just like all rocks or something, and it starts looking like, you know, you're not on the trail anymore. So I'm still on it. I'm still getting there to that road for the road walk. It's a beautiful trail, though. Beautiful scenery. Beautiful everything. So I love it. What I don't love right now is my foot. It is intensely hurting. Much worse than it was yesterday. Kind of back to where it was a couple days ago. The one really important thing you got to be aware of is the difference between injury and pain. Because pain is going to be often on a through hike. Injury can happen too, but you got to know if that injury is something you can push through and not make it worse, or make it where you have to have surgery someday or something, or, you know, long-term effects. Because again, at the end of the day, you have to be able to hike in the future. Well, if that's what you want to do, which that's what I want to do, is hike for the rest of my life, through hike for the rest of my life, you know. And I'll definitely talk to you more about the future plans, but it's not just my passion, it's not just my life, but it's also where my career is going to be going as well. It's part of everything about me from here on out. So it's really important to stay healthy. So that's the other thing you really got to be aware of, is that injury something that is going to make everything worse if you keep pushing through. So that's what I'm trying to analyze right now. As much as I would not want to stop early on the Appalachian Trail this year, I have to make sure that this foot thing is getting better. The broken bones, the fractured bones, the stress fractures, the ligaments it might be torn, whatever's going on right now, I have to make sure it's getting better. If it's not, I can't push it too far, especially up in the dangerous areas. You know, that could definitely put my life in jeopardy, let alone my foot. So I'm able to push through pain, that's for sure. I mean, it's making me wince right now, but you know, I'm able to push through. But I need to make sure that this isn't something that's, you know, long term going to cause some permanent damage. It is kind of a bummer that it's hurting so bad today after it was so much better yesterday. So we'll see. Have to cross this creek again. Really no good stops or steps here on the rocks. I mean, there is, but big gaps in between them here for a couple steps, and with them being as wet as they are, I just said, you know what, screw it, I'm gonna get wet. Gonna wade across it, because right there it's real shallow. Here it's not that much, maybe a foot. But with my foot hurting, like, cold water might actually make it feel good anyway, so let's just do that. All right, here we go. That water was cold, or as warm as it's been the last few days. That water doesn't know that it's summer yet because it was cold. Man, I just had another bug fly in my eye. They love to fly in my eyes. So far in Massachusetts, I had like 3 of them yesterday going in my eye. Either that or my eyelash or eye, whatever. My eye itself, eyelid, is not having its reflexes work as properly as they should. Usually I go shut and it stops the bug, but the bug's flying right in, so they're fast up here, I guess. Anyway, that water was really cold. Didn't really help my foot though. I was hoping it would. Really slippery there at the beginning when it had some of the flat rocks and a little deeper water, but then it turned to like little stones and pebbles, so it's like digging your feet into sand, or rough sand almost. So worked out well. Just walking across, back on the trail, getting close to the road so I could do the road walk around the mountain the rest of the way, and then back onto the AT. So far this road walk isn't too bad. The shoulder is narrow, but there's this dirt and stone section kind of drop off, so it's like a drop off shoulder. More comfortable on the feet for sure, but not a whole lot of traffic on this road either, so that makes it feel a little safer. But just a couple miles, be back on trail. Nice view of Everett here from the road. Beautiful. Hey everyone. Greetings. Hope you all had a good 4th of July. The clips you just seen was from me walking around Mount Everett, road walking, because my foot and ankle just couldn't take any more that day of climbing rocks. I'm glad I did, because it ended up storming really bad that day. By the time I got to Great Barrington, I had basically just got there right when it started storming, so I would have probably been still up on the rocks on the mountains, climbing up or down. I mean, I could barely move myself by the end of that walk. Getting to Great Barrington, which was only 7-8 miles that day, wasn't much at all. But that was a week ago. I took a couple days, then I went and seen some family in Albany, and decided it was time to call it for the year. So my Thru-Hike is done for the year. In the last 13 months, I've done over 3,400 miles, over 200 summits, 14 states, and 2 different Thru-Hikes, the PCT and the AT, and very close to the end of the AT, more than 3/4 or close to 3/4. But unfortunately, the body does what it does. I mean, last year I walked through a fractured spine. I was able to do that. Unfortunately, a fractured foot, and who knows what is going on with the ligaments and tendons in there. They're definitely damaged, but injured, I should say. There's definitely a big difference between injury and pain. Just couldn't go on with it. It was dangerous to climb rocks when I couldn't put weight on it, full weight. Obviously, the confidence of being able to do what you're supposed to do as well. So it was in my best interest for future Thru-Hikes and for future mountain summits to go back home and rest the body and let the body heal. And I could tell you that was a week ago, and I could tell you my foot is still every bit of problem, actually a little worse now than it was then. And I'll go into this in for some further detail on some upcoming videos, but right now I just wanted to let you know what's going on. Definitely want to talk more about the injury and the pain and what's next as far as healing up. But I can tell you that the plan is next year to go out and finish the AT from where I left off, and the PCT hopefully as well, and then the CDT will most likely be pushed till the following year, just for the fact that it is basically, it'll be my 50th year, but it won't be happening this coming year. So the AT and then the PCT will be getting finished up, but that's where everything is right now. Just wanted to give you guys an update on that, and we will definitely be talking more about that in future videos. But that is a good breakdown for now, what's going on. But I'm definitely happy with what I did. Time to let the body heal, though, because I definitely want that to be good for future mountains and future Thru-Hikes. But I hope you all had a good 4th of July, and we'll definitely talk soon. The videos will keep coming. The mountain summits will keep coming. But more importantly, in the next 3 months, in about 90 days, I will be marrying my fiance, and we'll be going on our honeymoon. So all of my heart and soul and mind is all on getting that ready and preparing for that and spending good quality time with her the last few days of fiancés before becoming husband and wife. Live life, y'all, and we'll talk soon.